Okay, so that's on appeal now. That case really highlights that a lot of these title companies don't like to sell these. Is that right, Jim? Kind of.
I think what I got a call from an attorney who I guess is representing the attorney who prepared the trust with the litigation. So I think this case is more than about legal avoidance of the trust operation deal a lot while they're still using attorneys. So you have a title company, avoidance mutual, maybe the attorney law on the other side of it, which you live there.
Did everybody hear that about?
No.
Anybody hear any of that?
For the benefit of the record, basically, Jim said that there was an alternate ground for the court holding. Not only was the deed of trust just signed by one of the entireties, okay, but the acknowledgement where the signature is notarized on the back. The acknowledgement only acknowledged one debtor's signature. And there is a line of cases going way back that says that a fatal acknowledgement, okay, a fatal acknowledgement is, means that the document is not entitled to be recorded and imparts no notice. So while the transaction may be effective between the parties, if the right parties sign it, if it's not properly acknowledged, it's no notice, it's a nullity. The trustee can just ignore it and act like it didn't even appear in the record.
What if you have a notary that is good in all 50 states and territories, including Puerto Rico?
Well, that brings us to some of your skills, Robbie. And I think it's fair. We have Robbie up here. I want him to use this platform. I would like to talk to you about the types of things you do. You said you signed 7,000 affidavits in a day.
Yes.
Is that what you did?
Yes.
I've read testimony. What? Did you go to Congress this past week?
Yes.
I know several of your friends did and had to testify about your activities. How were you able to avoid a congressional subpoena?
Take the fifth, Robbie.
Not entitled to, Mr. Butler. Answer the question, sir.
I am not a U.S. citizen. I am a non-U.S. citizen.
What I heard was that you've been hiding in Joe Vonnegutt's closet. The power of the U.S. government. Is that true?
Do you want to play a game?
Well, we know you're very efficient, capable of reviewing large numbers of documents in a short period of time. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is it true that Rock & Scott recently made you a job offer for motion for release from stay in Chapter 7 cases?
They did.
You're holding out for a better deal.
I am, because I am sad to say I could not sign as many motions as they required to be filed.
Well, we all have standards, Robbie. If you were interested in the other side of the practice, perhaps there are some debtors' attorneys that might use your services.
I have a wish. It is a great wish. It is a wish that I could work for the Tarwick Gate Stubbs firm and sign affidavits for attorney's fees.
I'm not sure you can keep up with the workload. What about consumer debtors? Have you thought about maybe working for some of our consumer bar?
I want to be on the TV in the Triangle area and say things like, I can get rid of your debt for $99 $99 a month.
We might be able to accommodate that. Some members of people that do that maybe here with us. Have you thought about being a petition preparer, perhaps? Just being paid to prepare petitions for people and not give legal advice?
If you can run interference with Margie, that would be great.
Stay out of the East. Brian Bear will hunt you down. Yeah, I actually think, Mr. Robbie, that there might be an opening for a Chapter 7 trustee in the Newbert District after the seminar.
No.
That's enough of this foolishness. turn you off for just a second. Just sit here. Hold on. I'm not getting too personal. All right. Come back to you. Yes, yes, sir, Al.
Can we come back to the head grading, because there are a couple of additional steps that the courts have taken that perhaps clarified or limit the extent of head grading.
Right. Well, hey,
You were involved in the Oliver versus Smith case, were you not?
I was somewhat involved in the Oliver versus Smith case. I was the plaintiff, perhaps, in the Oliver versus Smith case. Yes, I was the trustee in that case, and that's when I was asked whether, what happens if it's the debtor's home. That's one where it was the debtor's home, but they were going to surrender it anyway. And so, certainly if we had been able to provide some payment to the unsecured creditors, the debtor would have been fine with that and received homestead exemption, I believe. Yes, I think, again, I have to be careful what I say. People have told me they think that there's maybe a retreat from some of the head grading principles, but I think cases like Oliver versus Smith and Beckhart versus Nationwide Trustee Services, which is on page 3 and 4 of the manuscript, I think what they do is clarify things. And we started with head grading, which was very clear date was wrong. And so a lot of these cases say, well, does head grading apply to these facts or those facts or this other fact? And what we find in Smith and Beckhart is that we know one of the limits. In Beckhart and Smith, there were essentially the same facts regarding the note deed of trust. You had a deed of trust dated, say, 11/20/2010. The note dated 11/20/2010. But when you go to the deed of trust, you see that it says it secures a note dated blank. So you say, well, that's not right. It doesn't secure a note dated blank. It secures a note dated November 20th, 2010. So is that the type of fatal flaw that head grading was talking about? And the answer is no. I think if you look at Beckhart and you look at the Smith case, Williams case, you draw a real distinction between having incorrect information, which remember, head grading is incorrect. It says a note of even date, and there's not a note with that date. There's a note with a different date. Contrast that with missing information. And if you have missing information, what the court tells us in Beckhart is that they will look at other things in the document to see whether, in fact, it describes the debt in other ways. And that's what they did in Beckhart and in Williams.
So in head grading, the deed of trust was simply incorrect. It identified a note, its identification was incorrect. But in perhaps Beckhart and Williams, the deed of trust identification of the debt was perhaps not as precise as it could be, but it wasn't incorrect.
It was not incorrect, it was missing. So incorrect versus missing, I think, is a pretty bright line with our courts on what is head grading and what is okay. There's another issue in Beckhart, though, that's on appeal. Beckhart is on appeal. It's before the district court now. And that had to do with the borrower definition. That's another, when you look at identification of the debt in the deed of trust, and we've all seen these things where it says this deed of trust secures a note signed by a borrower, and borrower is a defined term. It's got a capital B. And you look and see who is the borrower, and the borrower is defined in the deed of trust as both the husband and wife in Beckhart, because both husband and wife signed the deed of trust, right? We know from the Williams case they both have to, or it's the Williams case, and it's no good. So the borrower is defined as husband and wife, and you say, okay, where is my note signed by husband and wife? You go to the note, it's only signed by the husband. And so, you look at that and you say, well, that doesn't adequately describe a note that exists. In head grading, it didn't describe it because the date was different. And the thought in Beckhart, it didn't describe it because the borrower was not right. So I was wrong. I lost the case. But it's on appeal. And what the court did was look at a certain paragraph.